BMW recently launched the long wheelbase version of its iX1. Join me as I take you for its review. This is BMW iX1 long wheelbase. This is the longer wheelbase version of the earlier launched iX1, but this is also the first ever EV from BMW to get a Made in India tag. This one is going to cost you 49 lakh rupees ex-showroom. The standard wheelbase iX1 was an imported unit and was priced over rupees 66 lakhs, so there is a considerable price difference between the two. But now iX1 LWB is even cheaper than petrol X1 by almost 2 lakhs. So this product is worth taking note of. Let's talk about exteriors first. At 4616 mm length, the iX1 LWB is obviously longer and it is evident on the side. Just for context, the second gen X3 was 4652 mm. The wheels are identical to the standard iX1, and while the iX1 had the vertical slat grille, this one gets BMW's new signature grille, which gives it a modern appeal. It comes with wraparound adaptive LED headlamps and is fitted with M kit. So you get various M elements like the front and rear bumper, M badging on the side, etc. You also get M door projectors. The long wheelbase iX1 is stretched out but manages to look proportionate and carries modern BMW look. The charging point is on the right hand side of the car. BMW is giving you 11 kilowatt wall box charger for home installation. It's gonna take about 6.5 hours for this 66.4 kilowatt hour battery to charge with that wall box charger. And if you can find yourself a 130 kilowatt charger, this car can get charged from 0 to 80 SOC in roughly about half an hour. But we generally get 30 kilowatt fast chargers available, the DC fast chargers, and with that it will take around 2.5 hours to charge completely. Now this is where the real story is. The second row of BMW iX1. It does not feel like an X1 because there's just so much space available to you. Yes, thigh support is a little less, but I have more than enough room to stretch my legs and sit comfortably. I would have preferred if the seat, the bench was a little wider, but this space just really blows your mind. It does not feel like an X1 at all. And then you have other features too. For example, you have your AC vents here. There's some space to keep your stuff. There's armrest with cup holders. These three seats are foldable, 40, 20, 40, and then you also have very nice fit and finish here, and you get Harman Kardon speaker system, and you also get a panoramic sunroof for you to enjoy the view. You can adjust the recline to your liking, and you also get these cushions. So the front row is not very different from iX1, but it looks really nice. There is this black soft leather material on top of the dashboard. Then you see this very nice textured satin silver finish. It looks beautiful. There is some satin finish silver insert as well, and there is ambient lighting. You have different modes and the ambient light changes according to the modes. You have these two screens in this curved display which is tilted towards the driver. Your infotainment screen, your driver display is crisp, clear and gives you all necessary information, and the entire setup looks very nice. One word for these seats: they are sporty and they hold you really well. In this 10.25 inch infotainment screen, there is one thing that is different than BMW iX1, and that is this one gets BMW's new OS 9. You have this very cleverly executed wireless charger. Your phone stands upright, held by a band, so that when somebody calls you, you do not have to fiddle around to find your phone. In case you need to see that, you have the screen right in front of you, though you will not need to see, at least for the calls, because you have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, but in case you need to see it. And I really like the execution of this. The area is lit up with ambient lighting. It looks beautiful. Then you have these two cup holders, space under the armrest, enough space to keep a lot of stuff. You also have a little bit of space under the armrest. maybe sufficient to keep your phones or maybe wallet and coins. Very neatly executed center console. You can keep your bottles in the door pocket and you will have more space left. The glove box is also of decent size. Now we all know X1 is the entry-level SUV to BMW's SUV portfolio, but once you sit inside this iX1 long wheelbase, the interiors, the execution of everything does not make you feel like you have been shortchanged. They look premium and they have more or less all the features that you would want from your car. The other big change between the iX1 and the iX1 long wheelbase is the number of motors. You get one motor front mounted, whereas in the earlier iX1 you had twin motors mounted on either axles. Though BMW claims weight distribution is still 50-50. The long wheelbase iX1 focuses more on comfort and giving you a better range, over 500 kilometers. The total power output in this one is around 204 HP, whereas at the iX1 it was 313 HP and torque figure was even higher. The claimed 0 to 100 comes in 8.6 seconds, while in the standard iX1 it was 5.6 seconds. So does that mean that iX1 long wheelbase is really slow? Well, it's not actually. Because of the instantaneous torque, you still feel the punch. And picking up speed is not that hard. It's relatively slow, but it's not slow on its own. Just think about it, how many petrol and diesel engine actually claim sub 10 seconds 0 to 100 figure? Very few. Whether you are in city or on highways, overtaking is not going to be a problem, mainly because this is an EV and that 250 Nm of torque is available to you right when you push the accelerator pedal. You get drive mode, sports and efficiency mode. In efficiency mode, you have the option of max range. Once you activate max range, the speed limit gets capped at 90 kph. You also get regeneration mode, so you have 3 levels of regen that you can manage: low, medium and high level. At high level 2, the car does not come to a standstill and the braking feels quite smooth. The max regen can be activated by engaging B mode through the gear knob, which is when you can do single pedal drive and is most helpful when you are running low on charge or in bumper to bumper traffic. If you are in bumper to bumper traffic, you use the B mode and you might just actually be able to get more charging than what you started from. Now let's talk about the ride quality. This one does not get the adaptive suspension that the iX1 got. When it comes to drive comfort, the ride quality of iX1 long wheelbase is pretty good. I think people who are buying this car for comfort will appreciate it. It's not like how BMW cars used to be, a little bit more sporty, but it's more comfort oriented. So it takes care of minor undulation on the roads pretty decently. You do feel them, but they don't feel uncomfortable, and even on bad patches of road, this car absorbs those bad patches very efficiently. There's a bit of body roll in this car, but nothing worth complaining about. The only complaint you might have with iX1 long wheelbase is that it does not feel like a BMW. BMWs are known for their sporty performance, sporty handling. This one is a lot more comfort oriented, including the steering, which is more tuned to relaxed driving. The iX1 long wheelbase too comes with some of the driver assistance systems. It also comes with park assist. There's a very interesting concept that BMW has introduced, and that's of charging concierge. Through this concierge, customers can get on-call assistance for route planning with active chargers, prepay for charging via a unified payment gateway, and avoid multiple app downloads. The display is oriented towards driver, but the problem that I have with new BMWs is that everything is on screen, including your region management on screen, and it's not even easy to access. You have to go inside the menu to find it, and that becomes a little bit of a problem. But the good thing is that if you are in need of region, you can engage the B mode from the center console. And a lot of functions can be accessed through voice command, but I still would have preferred few more buttons, especially the region mode. The long wheelbase BMW iX1 is well suited to Indian luxury buyers, offering enhanced rear seat space and a longer range, key priorities in this segment. With local assembly, it remains relatively affordable compared to its over 67 lakh rival, the Mercedes-Benz EQA. While it may lack the driving fun of the standard iX1, its improved range makes it a compelling choice for an EV. Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV Auto Show. King Shukdatta brings you the review of Ultraviolette F77.
The Ultraviolette F77 is a force to reckon with. It is sharp, it is sexy, and the performance is of course very impressive. This is the Ultraviolette F77 SuperStreet. That's right, it's called SuperStreet because it is street oriented, based on the F77 Mach 2 platform of course. And yes, we are riding it on this racetrack here in Bengaluru, Velocity International Racetrack. It's quite nice, it's technical, and we are going to have loads and loads of fun and review this motorcycle. Alright, so let me quickly talk to you about the specifications of the F77 SuperStreet. It is the same as the Mach 2. There are two battery packs on offer, a 7.1 kWh unit with a range of 211 kilometers and a 10.3 kWh unit with a range of 323 kilometers. The peak power output is 30 kilowatts and the peak torque output is 100 Newton meters. The bike does the 0 to 100 sprint in 7.7 seconds and the 0 to 60 sprint in just 2.8 seconds. It's really quick, and it has three riding modes on offer: glide, combat and ballistic, which loosely translates to eco, normal and sport. Alright, so now I'm sitting on the Ultraviolette F77 Mach 2, and as you can see, the riding position is very committed, and there you can see that the angle is 55 degrees. And of course the handlebar also, it's a clip-on handlebar, very sporty, right? And the instrument console is also very flat, so you have to sit like this. If you want to look at the console while riding, you have to move your eyesight down and then again lift your head up. And it's very taxing to ride like this for long hours, particularly in traffic. So which is where Ultraviolette has made the biggest change on the SuperStreet. Now let's check that out. So this is the SuperStreet, and immediately you see that you're sitting much more upright. So the angle is now 80 degrees, from 55 to 80, it's a difference of 25 degrees. So you sit upright, the handlebar is different, it is 80 mm taller, 30 mm wider, and the instrument console has also been angled towards the rider so that you don't have to compromise much on the vision. You just have to move your eyesight down and then back up, so it's much less of a vision difference. So this is again very comfortable, and it will allow you to ride long hours even in traffic. So that's the biggest difference between the F77 Mach 2 and the F77 SuperStreet, the ergonomics of it all. Now the SuperStreet is laden with the same set of features as the F77 Mach 2, which include full LED lighting, a TFT instrument cluster with Bluetooth connectivity, 3 ride modes, traction control, dynamic stability control, optional tire pressure monitoring system, and a 10-step regenerative braking, with 9 being the maximum and 0 being the least. The interface is fairly easy to use, and it can be used to store soft copies of documents like RC and driver's license as well. Now we tested the 10.3 kWh battery option on the SuperStreet Recon, and it comes with a standard charger which takes 5 hours to charge from 10 to 80%. The boost charger can charge the same in 2.5 hours, while the Supernova fast charger can get it done in 60 minutes. What is interesting is that Ultraviolette is now offering the UV link connector, which allows the motorcycle to be charged at any electric 4-wheeler charging point, which means access to over 4,000 charging points across India. Alright, so we have been riding the F77 Mach 2 on the track and out here on back roads. So far the experience has been really good. I mean, it is as you would expect. I mean, the instant torque, all you need to do is whack the throttle open and you just overtake the vehicle in a jiffy, right? And yes, it is very, very quick. We spoke about the power and torque figures and the acceleration figures, but the same translates very well when you're riding it in the real world, right? And yes, the performance is absolutely nice. It is fantastic. And if we were to talk about the handling and ride quality of the motorcycle, we'll speak about the ride first. Yes, it is still a tad stiff, I would say. If you're going over minor undulations and if you're going over broken patches of road like this, then you will feel all the jerks, right? So it's not exactly plush, but you can live with it. It's not a deal breaker. And like I said, the seating position is very, very comfortable, right? Compared to the F77 Mach 2, of course. This is still slightly on the sportier side, but now you can actually ride this motorcycle for long hours and in peak traffic. I've been riding this bike for almost a couple of hours now, and so far no fatigue, so that's really nice. Apart from that, yes, we haven't been able to test the top speed because the track was tight and technical. I did hit a speed of 105 kmph on the straight, but otherwise the motorcycle, yes, it is fast and it is precise, more importantly. And if you were to talk about the handling, well, it handles really well, despite the fact that the handlebar is wider and it's taller. You get more leverage and you are confident when you're leaning the motorcycle into a corner and out of a corner. When you're straightening it, you get that sense of confidence, right? And the grip from the MRF tires is quite nice as well. So if you want to ride this motorcycle hard and fast, if you have roads that will allow you to ride very hard, then yes, you can push the motorcycle. And in fact, Ultraviolette does encourage you to push the motorcycle, and that's what they say this has been built for. So when they say they are focusing on performance and finally now they are focusing on comfort as well, they mean it. So yes, quite an enjoyable experience riding the F77 SuperStreet.
The 10-step regen allows you the freedom to keep the regen levels as per your riding style. It can be changed on the go, and stronger regen means you can ride without using the brakes. Quite a useful feature to have. The prices for the Ultraviolette F77 SuperStreet start at 2,99,000 rupees ex-showroom. If we were to talk about the running cost, the company says that the cost of running the motorcycle for a month is about 500. For a year, it's about 6,000 rupees, and for 5 years, it is 30,000 rupees. For a regular motorcycle, the cost of running for 5 years is about 3 lakh rupees. So there is significant savings there, which makes up for the higher acquisition cost. With all the riding we did, there is no doubt that the F77 SuperStreet is easily the best electric two-wheeler that you can buy in India today.
Today we are riding the Suzuki GSX-8R, the newest supersport from Suzuki, and we'll be riding it to find out the answer to the question whether is it a compromise or do these new generation supersports make actual sense.
The GSX-8R gets a sharp design with vertically stacked LED headlights and rakish fairing with air intakes up front. The engine stays exposed and the rear section is short and lifted up, revealing the seat rails. The overall design is nice and proportionate. The quality levels are decent too. We like the fit and finish on the motorcycle, and it gets a 14-litre fuel tank and has a curb weight of 205 kg. But the weight isn't a problem on the move. The motorcycle gets the same 776cc liquid-cooled parallel twin engine as the V-Strom 800DE, making 81 horsepower at 8500 rpm along with 78 Nm of peak torque at 6800 rpm. The motor gets a 270-degree crank configuration along with Suzuki's patented cross-balancer shaft. The engine is paired to a 6-speed gearbox with a bi-directional quick shifter, which has smooth shifts all throughout. In terms of features, the Suzuki GSX-8R gets the company's intelligent ride system with 3 riding modes, 4-step switchable traction control, ride-by-wire, ABS and low RPM assist. Now, we did a maximum riding in mode A despite the wet conditions, which meant full power and sharpest throttle response on offer. If you want your power to be more accessible, then you can choose between mode B and C.
So the biggest draw is the fact that the engine is really smooth and has plenty of torque on offer. It is happy pottering about town at decent speeds, and if you give it the beans, then the motorcycle builds up speed faster than the time it takes out to break into a smile. And the torque, 85% of it comes in at just 4000 RPM. That means you can be lazy with the gearbox, and yes, there's still plenty of shove on offer. The fourth gear in particular is very convenient on the GSX-8R. You can pull straight from 40 to 120 in fourth, and if you're riding in traffic, then all you need to do is just shift a gear down.
In terms of cycle parts, the GSX-8R gets 17-inch cast aluminium wheels shod with Dunlop Road Sport 2 radial rubber. Then there is a forged aluminium handlebar along with Showa's separate function big piston USD fork up front and a link type monoshock at the rear. The chassis engine setup is really good, and that makes for a superb riding experience.
Talking about the ride and handling of the GSX-8R, the motorcycle feels sharp and precise around the corner. There's good feel from the front end, and the motorcycle feels poised when leaned over. What is particularly surprising is the fact that the suspension is brilliantly tuned. It irons out all the undulations and absorbs bumps really nicely. So, in fact, it is a very comfortable bike, and yes, it doesn't rob you of confidence when you push the motorcycle to its limits.
The Suzuki GSX-8R is priced at 9,25,000 rupees ex-showroom, and at present, its nearest rivals are the Triumph Daytona 660 along with the Kawasaki Ninja 650 and the Aprilia RS 660. The Ninja is the most affordable model, followed by the Suzuki.
Remember, I talked about balance in the beginning of the video? Well, the Suzuki GSX-8R perfectly strikes that balance between performance and comfort. It is a motorcycle that is equally thrilling whether you ride it in the city or on a racetrack. And if you want some top-end performance, if you want sheer outright performance, then you may have to look at other options. But if you want a motorcycle that you can ride on a daily basis and have some fun while at it, the Suzuki GSX-8R is something that you should definitely consider.
Hello viewers, I am Amol and you are watching NDTV Auto, and we are here at the launch of the Ola Roadster X. Ola ने आज दो नई बाइक्स लॉन्च करी हैं, Roadster X और Roadster X Plus. इसमें से Roadster X आती है 75,000 के स्टार्टिंग प्राइस पे, वहीं उसका हायर वेरिएंट द X Plus comes at a starting price of 1.05 lakh. Here we have the Roadster X Plus, and let's take a look at what it offers for your money. Starting with the basics, let's take a look at the design. इसको एक बहुत ही यूनिक हेडलैम्प का डिज़ाइन मिल जाता है विद अ ब्रो लाइक DRL, जो बहुत ज़्यादा मॉडर्न और फ्यूचरिस्टिक लगता है. अलॉन्ग विद इट द ब्रांड हैज़ गिवन इट वेरी स्लीक स्ट्रेट बॉडी डोमिनेटेड बाय स्ट्रेट लाइन्स. इसमें ज़्यादा बल्जेस और कॉन्टोर्स देखने को नहीं मिलते. साथ ही साथ ऊपर की तरफ हमें मिल जाता है एक चार्जिंग पोर्ट विच मर्जेस वेरी वेल विद द फ्लैट सीट, और रियर एंड की तरफ हमें मिल जाता है एक बहुत ही स्लीक टेल लैम्प. Ola is also offering a 4.3-inch LCD touchscreen, which is supported by MoveOS 5. But that's about it. Let's talk about the hardware as well. Ola इस बाइक के साथ ड्रम ब्रेक्स दे रहा है rear end पे, which are standard for the Roadster X and the Roadster X Plus. But the Roadster X Plus gets something extra. That is in the form of this disc brake. This disc brake comes with single-channel ABS and brake-by-wire system, which is operated by a sensor placed in the lever. So the brand is offering 4 battery pack options with the 2 variants of the bike. The Roadster X comes with 3 battery pack options, which is 2.5, 3.5 and 4.5 kWh battery packs. These offer a range between 114 km to 252 km depending on the variant. But if you want even more range, they have an option of the Roadster X Plus. There is an option of a 9.1 kWh battery pack, which offers a range of up to 500 km. But it will set you back by at least 1.54 lakh.
Well, that's all for today, but we are very excited because we are launching the NDTV Auto Awards, the process for which have already started. Our jury round is next week, and you will see a lot of content from the jury round on our social media platform on YouTube and next week on the show. So stay tuned.